Okay. Since we now have a quorum, I will call the meeting for the MRPC meeting for April 9th, 2026 to order at 7:03. Okay,
This meeting will be recorded to ensure we have an accurate record of our discussion. If anyone has concerns about being recorded, please let us know. This meeting is held under an act extending certain COVID-19 measures adopted during the state of emergency signed by Governor Healy on March 28th, 2025, allowing local and regional governments to hold public meetings remotely or in a hybrid fashion through June 30th, 2027. All votes will be taken by roll call.
very good. Thank you, Jason. I guess now could you call the roll, please?
Let's see. For members, we have Hartley Pleshaw,
Present.
Guy Corbacero,
Present.
Alan Pease,
Here.
Doug Thornton,
Here.
Brian Keating,
Here.
Thomas Russo,
Here.
and then for staff, we have Jason Stanton, myself, Glenn Eaton,
Yes, sir.
Bernard Cahill,
Here.
Brian Doherty,
Present.
Tracy Warrington,
Here.
Holly Ford,
Here.
and a new member just popping in, Kyle Nardowitz.
Here.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank-
Okay, next item we'll move on to is the MRPC minutes of March 5th, 2025. I don't know if everybody's read them. But does anybody have any additions, subtractions, corrections in regards to the minutes? Not hearing any, I would entertain a motion to accept the minutes as written.
I move to accept the minutes as written. Alan Pease.
Thomas Russo, I second that.
Okay, very good. Jason, could you call the roll, please?
Hartley Pleshaw,
Aye.
Guy Corbacero,
Aye.
Alan Pease,
Aye.
Doug Thornton,
Aye.
Brian Keating,
Aye.
Thomas Russo,
Aye.
and Kyle Nardowitz. Kyle, do you want to chime in?
Oh, well,
Aye. Sorry, I was having
Yeah.
some issues.
It's all good.
okay, very good. Minutes are accepted unanimously. Next item on the agenda is the cash schedule for March 2026, actually. It says on my agenda 2025, but I think they're wrong, not me. Okay, since our treasurer is not here, Tracy, would you like to take this?
Sure, I can do that. On deposit at the beginning of the month, March 1st, we had $537,337.79. Total receipts for the month of March were $411,880.65. Giving us a total receipts of $949,218.44, less our cash disbursements and bills, which included paying off our line of credit. We have on hand $726,498.15.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Tracy.
You're welcome.
Do we have any questions of Tracy in regards to the cash schedule? Not hearing, I'll entertain a motion to accept, subject to audit.
I'll move to accept the cash schedule subject to audit. Alan Pease.
Thornton, second.
Okay, motion and second. Jason, would you call the vote?
Yep. Hartley Pleshaw,
Oh.
Guy Corbacero,
Aye.
Alan Pease,
Aye.
Doug Thornton,
Aye.
Brian Keating,
Aye.
Thomas Russo,
Aye.
and Kyle Nardowitz.
Aye.
Thank
All-
you. This should be
Okay, cash schedule, accepted unanimously. Next item on the agenda is guest announcement and questions. Do we have any, I don't see any guests here. Does anybody have any questions? I guess other than, members or things that are on the agenda? Not hearing any, I'll move on to administrative matters. Glenn, would you like to take the nominating committee, your first item, or?
Very quickly, I'll look for Holly for backup if Holly needs to chime in. Basically, there's a request for action here to appoint Mr. Guy Corbacero, Mr. Robert or Bob Schwartz, and Mr. Christopher Monroe to serve on this year's nominating committee. Charges the committee to propose a slate of candidates for the various commission officers and at-large positions no later than May 7, 2027. So basically, what we will ask the committee members to do if they get appointed tonight to form a committee is we would set up a meeting at 6:30 p.m. online in May, and they would discuss a slate and present that slate, I believe, at the June meeting. So that's the gist. Tonight, it's to vote the committee. Thanks for your time. Holly, you want to add?
Just that I will work with the nominating committee to reach out to the commissioners to see if we have any volunteers. So expect to get an email from me relatively soon. And if you could just let me know if you have any interest. If you have any questions about what will be required for any positions, we'd be happy to talk to you about that as well.
Okay. Great, thank you, Holly. Okay, now we have a resolution. Glenn read the resolution. Do we have any questions or comments? I don't hear any. I'll ask for a motion to accept the resolution as read. Do I have a motion?
So moved. Thomas Russo.
Very good. Do I have a second?
Second, Alan Pease.
Okay, very good. Could you do the roll, Jason?
we're gonna go backwards this time. Kyle Nardowitz,
Aye.
Thomas Russo,
Aye.
Brian Keating,
Aye.
Doug Thornton,
Aye.
Alan Pease,
Aye.
Guy Corbacero,
Aye.
and Hartley Pleshaw.
Aye.
I believe that's it.
Okay, back to you, Glenn. That's accepted. And I just want to comment, if anybody wants to be on the board or take any position, please get a hold of Holly. Okay, back to you, Glenn.
That's perfect. Thanks, Mr. Chairman. This I will read. This is important. I will read this. For more than 26 years, MRPC engaged the same auditing firm. That was Roland Lamberlot, CPA, by the way. The audit was completed on time every year for the last quarter century. It was reviewed by management and the planning commissioners by March each year and submitted to MassDOT, which is our cognizant agency, no later than March 31 every year. The principal in the former firm, Roland, retired. MRPC hired a new auditing firm, then known as Grassi Advisors. The new auditing firm has not been able to complete the MRPC's audit, FY25 audit by March 31st deadline. On March 31st, I sent a letter to MassDOT identifying the delay in the completion of the audit. The auditing firm has been pressed to complete the FY25 audit and to inform MRPC when this audit will be completed. We are waiting an answer from Grassi Advisors on when they will complete the audit and make an audit presentation to the staff and to the commissioners. We impress the importance upon the auditing firm of getting this done as soon as possible, ideally no later than April 23rd. If the auditing firm completes the audit in time for a presentation on April 23rd, then management will ask the commissioners to hold a special meeting at that time at 7 p.m. on that date. In June 2026, MRPC will issue a request for proposals for a new audit firm. So normally we would do this by the March meeting or a special meeting in March and then submit the audit in March 31st. It did not happen. I can take questions or comments, but I just want to give you a report on what's going on. Thank you for your time.
I have a question, Glenn. You put a little line in there about getting a new audit firm. Is that because they don't want to, or you think because of this lag, it might be best to look for a new one?
I think it's just best for all parties concerned that we definitely issue an RFP. Grasky Advisors would be eligible to apply, as would other audit firms, and we will, take all proposals into due consideration.
Okay, so we just jumped on Grasky because he was recommended and he filled the void for the moment.
The
Just
Grasky
wanted-
Advisor firm, the
Yeah,
Grasky Advisor firm was recommended by our former auditor. And I don't want to go into a lot of detail tonight. I'm happy to answer questions if they come up. I'm not going to hide anything. The reality is that, we certainly expected them to be done by now, and it has not been done. And I think we need to open and cast a broad net to find someone with that can work with us with a deadline for the next time for FY26, starting sooner and ending sooner in the future.
great. Thank you, Lynn.
Thank you.
Please move on. Unless there's any other questions.
Happy to move on if there aren't questions, and happy to go back if people have questions. So 5.3 is a request for out-of-state travel for 2 employees, myself and the new fiscal director, to attend Grants Management Solutions, GMS Financial Accounting Software on-site training in Baltimore, Maryland in early May. We have a policy that people can go to training within the state without commissioner's approval, but out-of-state travel, commissioner's approval is required. So basically, I want to go back about 14 years for 30 seconds. And when we had a transition between fiscal director at that time, I think it was in the winter of February, March 2012. Myself and 2 other staff went down. We were in Austin, Texas for training in GMS. And with Tracy being relatively new, it's been about 6 months, but maybe for Tracy, it's felt like 6 hours, 6 days, or 6 years. I'm not sure. I'll ask Tracy to talk about that if she wishes to. But we certainly need to provide Tracy with as much training as humanly possible. Getting training, as I've been through it a couple times with GMS, having the training face to face is very, very helpful. They do offer online training, and Tracy has availed herself of online training, and has, thank goodness, for a new artificial intelligence AI use policy. Tracy's been using AI to help with GMS as well, but this is quite simply a authorization to send her and myself down. My presence is, I can talk some of the language, not the accounting, but some of the, hey, there's this accounting package, and then they have other modules that we might want to purchase while we're there, and they're 50%. So it makes sense to have both of us there to do this at the same time. If, let's see, Jason, you could scroll a little bit for me, I'd appreciate that. The second paragraph talks about some of the items that they go over, monthly processing and so on and so forth. The modules, the additional modules are mentioned there. The budget, it's about $2,300 per person. Every time you send somebody on an out-of-state conference, it's around $2,000 per person. This one's a little higher because in that second sentence of the paragraph in the middle of the screen, this includes $699 for conference registration and training, which basically pays the companies for their company for its staff time. So that's the breakdown of the budget. $2,317 per person. 2 employees is $4,634. We do have a history of providing training to our employees. I want to make sure we're always doing that. I'm sure the commission will do that after I'm gone. Employees know that they can get training, and we go to great lengths to provide training to the employees. We want to make sure that we have the current training for our employees. And the resolution, be it resolved, MRPC hereby approves the above request for the out-of-state travel as presented above. I just didn't retype a lot of the stuff that was above, folks. So word that resolution however you wish to do so, if you wish to take up the resolution. And thank you for your consideration and time.
Okay, very good. Do we have any questions of Glenn or of Tracy?
Yeah, Glenn, could you expand on your role in attending this training? I understand Tracy's going to be actually attending, training seminars and so forth. But,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'd be doing the same thing. I can, from practical experience, because I went to 2 in the past, Alan, this is a great question. Sitting in the training sessions, I can get an understanding of what the modules are for while I'm there. For example, Alan, there's a module called an executive director's report. And I believe years ago when I was there, and I was sitting in the training and said, well, why don't we have this module also. So we did purchase that extra module for a year for 250 or 350 bucks or whatever it was. And then I realized it didn't really give me as much as I needed. So then we didn't purchase the module going forward after that. But it's very helpful to have both of us there so we can talk there and take advantage of, basically being on the ground in the room at the same time really helps us both try to figure out what to do to have as robust as a financial accounting system set up, bluntly, while you still have an ED that has the institutional memory with the organization for the past quarter century. So we can get a better, tighter financial accounting software before I leave. So that's the gist of it, Alan. I hope that helps.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, very good. Any other questions? If not, I'll accept a motion to move the resolution.
Yeah, Alan Pease here. I'll move the resolution as printed in the warrant here.
Okay, thank you, Alan. It's second.
Second.
Okay, very good. Do we have any more questions? If not, could you call the roll?
Hartley Pleshaw,
Aye.
Guy Corbicero,
Aye.
Alan Pease,
Aye.
Doug Thornton,
Aye.
Brian Keating,
Aye.
Thomas Russo,
Aye. Excuse me.
Kyle
Aye.
Nardowitz.
Aye.
Okay, very good. The resolution is passed unanimously. Back to you, Glenn, on 5.4.
Thanks, Mr. Chairman. So in the past, we did ask for approval and you gave it to us. Thank you for hiring another planner for the Planning and Development Department. We promised to come back to you to tell you when we had chosen a party and who that was and what some of the skills are. So it's taken us about 60 to 90 days, I believe, since we got that vote. I'm apologizing. I don't remember if that vote was January or February, but it was winter. It was cold. I remember that. We went through an advertising process, and then Holly, I'm going to ask you to chime in. Over 30 people interested, maybe 18 or 19 or 17 full applications. Or we interviewed 17 people or so. And then we came across this person who was interviewed, chose this person, I should say. Catherine goes by Kat Waugh. She'll commence on June 8th when she finishes getting her master's from University of Colorado in Colorado Springs, Colorado. She'll be working in planning development under Mr. Bernie Cahill's supervision. You may remember Bernie was promoted to the position of planning and development. The planning development director position in that department. Her skills will be applied on day one to the public outreach, environmental and land use planning, sustainable development, renewable energy and decarbonization and related planning tasks. She has some very good experience in internships while she's been at school. She's young and this is a very highly trainable individual and looking forward to having this ball of energy on the staff and looking forward to her doing some presentations for the commissioners. I think you're really going to appreciate what she can bring to the team. Holly, you want to talk at all about the numbers or anything else, please? And I'm going to mute for this. Thanks.
I think you were dead on there. We did receive over 30 people that were interested initially. We ended up with 19, I believe, completed applications, sent all their information back. We lined up those interviews, 2 pulled back, and as Glenn stated, we did complete 17 interviews. It was a whirlwind of interviews. We sat down, compared notes, and chose Miss Kat Waugh. I think that you all will be impressed. As Glenn said, she will be bringing a lot to the table, and I think that she will fit right in with the team.
Sorry about that.
That's all for that, Mr. Chairman. Thanks.
Sorry about that. My sister calling. Quick question. The Miss Waugh, is she a local girl or will she be coming in new to the area?
She's from Belmont, I believe, born and raised, and she has the pleasure or the benefit of a reverse commute for 45 minutes and driving with her back to the sun, which would be great for her, as opposed to the rest of us that might have to go with the sun in our eyes. So she's looking forward to starting, and I can't. I can't speak highly of this candidate enough. I mean, she's just seems like a dynamo. We just want to wind her up and let her go. So, but I mean, for me, she's local because she's from Massachusetts and she's within a commuting distance. So, looking forward to having this person on board.
Great, close enough for government work.
Yes, sir.
Okay, move on, Glenn.
Yes, sir. Very good. We can go down to the strategic plan 5.5. So Christopher Monroe has been asking for a strategic planning committee that will be needed to initiate related research, not just my transition, but where the agency wants to go in the next few years. So Christopher is actually on a mostly a vacation this week. He's in Utah. And he has a one-day conference that related to his day job as a lawyer, I believe, tomorrow. So he's out of state, and I want to thank Guy for pitching in, if you will, going from on deck to batter up to do chairperson. I called Guy around 5 after I found out Christopher was out of state. So, Guy, thanks a lot for pitching in tonight. I really, really do appreciate that. I believe Christopher will bring something back. We've talked about this for a few months. I think what's going to happen is Holly and Christopher and I were going to plan to meet after tonight's meeting, before the next meeting, to say, okay, let's pick a date and actually have a meeting, and then probably have those meetings start to come back and report to the commissioners, whether it's the full executive committee. I think it was open to pretty much anybody who wanted to participate. So that's just the gist. And Christopher isn't here tonight, but I'm sure he'll be back with us in May. Thanks, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you, Glenn. 5.6.
I'm not going to read any of this stuff. I'm trying to document when I'm going to some meetings and some other related work that's happening. So it's basically here for commissioners and staff and anybody who wants to go back to this, where does he spend his time on some projects? Some meetings relate to projects and so on. So I'm happy to say that, I'm working on some projects and there are some related meetings. And one thing I haven't been documenting, which is really in the first paragraph, is that, excuse me, it's in the third paragraph, it's the third. Meetings are held regularly between myself, fiscal director, and Holly every week. And then Bernie and I started also, and thanks, Bernie, holding meetings every week also, as he's not brand new, kind of sort of relatively new, but I'm trying to be there more for him than I was the first 30, 60 days in oversight of the planning development department as well. So Tracy chimes in on those meetings sometimes. She's been with us the last couple of Tuesdays, and that's been really beneficial to have fiscal with Bernie. And all of a sudden, one big thing is when you have a transition in fiscal and a department head like planning development at the same time, you do have to keep up to billing. And I got to tell you that, Bernie and Tracy and Bernie are all over the billing again. Great. And you can see that in the cash warrant schedule today. When you have a $900,000 balance, admittedly, $500,000 of that is the EPA RLF, but systems are humming back on board again. The engine room is humming along smoothly. So this is our due diligence during the day. We are doing due diligence meetings to make sure that we're operating as efficiently as humanly possible. And that's really 5.6. And I can move on to meetings, Guy. And those are pretty quick. Okay, I see a hand gesture from Guy. Thanks a lot, Guy. So, Mr. Chair and others, next meeting of the joint meeting of the Economic Development District, the Comprehensive Economic Development Strategy Committee, and the Brownfields Group, we're going to be looking at April 30, which sounds like a long ways away, but it's really only 21 days or so if I did the math right, and I don't know if I did. So in a few weeks, we'll have a meeting. The EPA program, Brownfields, is running relatively smoothly. We had received a $500,000 grant. 90% of that gets farmed out to a consultant to do phase 1 and phase 2 environmental site assessments. We've committed at least $300,000 of the $450,000 that goes to the consultant, so we're about 2/3 of the way there. We have this grant through September 30, 27, and that's moving along fairly swimmingly. The next and last item is a lunch and learn that will be held on April 22. And we don't have an agenda yet. I have to formulate an agenda, send it out to local officials, and then we'll post it on the website. But that's only a couple of weeks away, but we'll do that pretty quickly. Probably next week, we'll send out an agenda on that. Thanks again to the IT department. We have an internal form where you fill out a form and you get these links and QR codes. So I want to thank Kayla for doing this with Jason's department. So that's very helpful. That's all I have for admin. And it's only 7:28. So, Mr. Chairman, back to you and others. Thank you for your time, folks.
Okay, very good. I want to mention that I've attended the lunch and learn, and I've got information out of it each time. So thank you, Glenn, for those. Okay, now I guess we're going to department updates. Actually, we will go to Geographic Information Systems, GIS.
So I don't have any, I don't have any GIS updates this month, but I do just want to give everybody a heads up that we've been going through like a website migration. We're upgrading our old website to a new one, and they've migrated just about everything. Holly and myself and Kayla have attended a couple of trainings. We actually sat down on Monday to sort of review the site and go over some questions that we had, things that didn't seem quite right, or things we didn't quite know how the best way to handle were. So we're going to be going back to the vendor soon to try to get everything finalized, and then once we can, the new site will be going live. We think it's a little bit more user-friendly, a little bit more intuitive, less wordy in some of the menus and things like that. So hopefully people will like it. That's about it.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Jason. Do we have any questions of Jason? Not hearing any, I'll move on to planning and development. Will you be taking this, Bernie?
Yes, I will. Thanks, Guy. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you great.
Great. I'm trying out a new microphone, so just checking. All right, so I'll start with what's on the agenda here, which is the ECO one-stop applications. I'm happy to report that the planning and development team submitted 7 in total applications by the March. It was extended deadline, the 28th deadline. So that included 3 housing production plan update applications, 2 open space and recreation plan applications, and 2 MVP applications. So we're really pleased about that. The state will announce awardees in June. At least they're claiming they're going to announce them in June. So we'll say July because the state said June. So we'll give them a month. But hopefully not too far off in the future, and that would be great. I mean, we're really hoping we can get at least half of them. Also coming up, and we'll be applying for probably 3. So there's now 2 sets of one-stops, just to confuse everyone. The one due on June 5th is the Community for Growth one-stop. And Lemonster has asked us to help write 2 for them. And we're going to be doing one for the Regional Solid Waste Plan. We're going to be applying for a community planning grant for that as well. So we got our work cut out for us again in the next 7 weeks or so, but we're pretty confident we can get it done on time. That one won't be announced. They'll announce community one-stop applicants in, I believe, October, maybe early November. So yeah, we've got a lot going on right now. One other thing that I wanted to mention before I pass the torch is really important is, and I'd ask you to write this down if you can, everyone. Speaking of lunch and learn, so I don't know how many of you are aware, but the 2024 climate law is now requiring that municipalities, they're going to be required starting this summer and fall to offer an optional expedited permitting process for new small clean energy projects. It's going to have a consolidated application, so that means a single application for any permits needed within a town, and there'll be a 20-month shot clock. I call it a shot clock timing that starts when the application comes in for a town to make a decision. That's for energy projects, clean energy projects up to or under 25 megawatts for generation and 100 megawatts of battery storage. So we've been in touch, Glenn and I have been in touch with DOER, that's Department of Energy Resources, in particular our the regional coordinator for Central Massachusetts. His name is Stephen Mino. He's a really nice guy. And he's agreed to come and speak to us twice, not once, but twice, to explain to communities, kind of do the overview of these new regulations, and to answer questions, so Q&A. So the first one we decided we would like to do it in the daytime, and then one in the evening, so we can try to catch as many people as we possibly can based on, people's busy schedules. So the first one's going to be the May Lunch and Learn. That's Wednesday, May 27th at noon. Stephen's going to come and speak to everyone. We are going to send out applications to municipal staff. We figured this is a good one for them. But for everyone on here tonight who knows your municipal staff, if you have a town planner, if you have a town planning administrator, a town administrator, anyone and everyone who might be involved in something like this or interested to attend that day on the 27th at noon. We're going to hold it open for an hour and a half, but if you got to jump after 45 minutes, that's probably pretty good. The second one is going to be in the evening. And again, this is to catch people, many people like yourselves who are volunteers on committees, so planning boards especially, conservation commissions, and select boards, because we figure when these regulations come into place this summer and fall, that these will be the big three that are probably going to be working on these when small clean energy applications come in. So it's really important. If you could help us reach out to them, that would be huge. That would be really helpful. We are going to send out individual invites because we do want to get them, but face-to-face, peer-to-peer always works best, as we know. And it's not a long ask. It's about an hour, hour and a half. And that's going to be Monday, June 1st at 7 p.m. And we're going to be sending out a Zoom link to all of this. We just set it up today. But again, so the first one's Lunch and Learn, May 27th at noon. And the next one's June 1st at 7 p.m. So if all of you can attend, and if you can get as many people from town who are going to be involved in these processes, that would be fantastic. I don't want to get too much into the substance tonight because we could have a long conversation about it. And I want Stephen Mino to his professional, his knowledge to come and speak to everyone. But if you have any questions, like high level questions, I'm happy to answer them tonight. And we'll have more information. Oh, the other thing is if you have questions for Stephen ahead of time that you already know, he did ask for you to send them to me ahead of time, and I'll forward them to Stephen. So he has them all ready to go, and that'll just make for a more efficient meeting. So that's all the time I was going to take. Guy, thank you.
Okay, very good, Bernie. Do we have any questions of Bernie?
Yeah, I have one question. So is this going to need like a bylaw change for the towns to comply with this?
It might. It depends. It's more of a process change from what I'm understanding right now. So we'll have to look through, and RPAs are going to be helping their communities with this. And we're learning as well as it goes. So it kind of depends. The most important part, as far as I understand it, is the consolidated application. So it's like a common application for a college. You do one application, covers all the bases, right? So covers conservation, covers planning, it's one fee. Everyone has to decide within 12 months. So that may or may not change things. Bylaw wise, again, we'll have to look community by community to find out what's written down on the books, to see if it will impact anything.
Okay.
They are coming up with, I know the state DOER has provided some, what do you want to call them? Some like templates, some language for solar power in particular, renewable energy siting and stuff. The towns will be able to use, and again, this is optional. It has to be given to the developer as an option, but the developer doesn't have to take it. So the developer can go the regular route, the traditional route they've always gone with the town, or they can do the expedited process. So anyway, sorry, that was a long answer, but yeah. So the question is I think it's going to depend. It's going to depend on what's written down in a town's bylaw. That's the short answer.
Okay. And does the battery storage stuff, is that included in this as well?
Yeah, it is. So this is also, I mean, I'd reiterate that it's for clean energy projects of a smaller scale. So anything over 25 megawatts of generation or over 100 megawatt hertz of battery storage, if I'm getting this right,
Oh,
that will automatically go to the state. That's my
okay.
understanding. It will actually, so anything larger than those will go to the state and it will go through their review. And the state will act on behalf of the town to review larger projects. But yes, it does include battery storage.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
So, and Brian Keating, so Brian, you just saying a larger project is over 25 kilowatt, or is that a
Yep. Yeah.
so
And if you
25?
join, I mean, when you join the meeting, and I hope you will, one of the two meetings, Stephen can tell you the exact specifications. Like he'll be able to get into
Yeah.
the real details of this stuff. I mean, that's his wheelhouse. I'm going on the information that I have in front of me. So
This is interesting because we're about to amend our bylaw to allow, those smaller size ground mounts in residential and neighborhood business areas. So this
yep.
is like that. Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions, Bernie? Okay, do you have anything else, Bernard?
Nope, that was it. Thank you.
Okay, very good. Move on to transit and transportation. Does anybody from MRPC have anything in this?
Yeah, I just have one quick thing I want to mention. Federal Highway Administration issued a notice of funding opportunity under the Safe Streets for All program. So if you remember back in the fall, the MPO endorsed our safety action plan that we developed under this program. I think I presented that at the commission meeting, maybe in December or November. In that plan we put together, we identified 50 or 60 projects in the region that qualify for this program. We've been waiting for this funding opportunity from the federal side. They just issued it last week. There's an application deadline, May 26th. We've been sending out information. I think everyone here got that information earlier this week or last week. We've been kind of pushing that, trying to get some of these projects. It's up to the communities to pursue this grant money. And as I mentioned, every community in our region has at least one project identified through our plan. So there's a lot of facilities that do qualify for this program.
Great, thank you, Brian. Does anybody have any questions of Brian? Not hearing any. That is all our departments. Any other general comments from MRPC staff? If not, we'll go on to item 8, which is new business. Is there any new business, Glenn? That's not on the agenda.
Not for myself, unless staff had something that was new. I'm not aware of anything. And then I defer back to you and the commissioners, Mr. Chair.
Okay, very good. Now we're at the point where it's open session. Does any commissioners have any general questions of the staff? Not hearing any. I have one to Holly. The day after the last meeting, I went to get the files you had posted up for us to download, and they were gone. Did they disappear the day of the meeting, or can you hold them up for a couple days?
I don't believe they go anywhere.
Okay, was it my
Jason,
fault,
do you?
Paul?
I'm pretty
Jason,
sure
would
they
you-
just stay there in perpetuity unless like they were moved or something. I don't know. Holly usually puts the stuff in there, so unless it's moved or something, they should have been there still. I can look into it to see if they're still there. And I can send you a link to make sure
No,
that
I don't need them now. That was
Okay.
long gone, but it was that day. But maybe it was that the link wasn't working to them.
Yeah, who
the
knows?
next.
I'll look into it. I'll check the old link and see if it still works or figure it
Okay,
out.
The short answer, Guy, is it should stay in there. We don't typically move that or change anything.
Okay, the link would work then. So it
Okay.
very well could have been a problem on my side. I'm not the most savvy.
I just
I don't know.
actually clicked, I went to the last month's meeting, I clicked it, and the documents are still in there. So it might have just been something, like your internet cut out or something, who knows?
But if you ever need something, just send me an email and I'll get it sent right over to you, okay?
Oh, okay, very good. Thank you very much then. It was me. Any of the other members? Anything else? If not, we're way ahead of what was scheduled. I will entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
By consensus, if there's no objection, I'll call this meeting adjourned at 7:43, and thank you, everyone. Have a great evening.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good
Thank
night,
you.
everyone.
Good night.